right, getting back to it here. It's the next hour, an explosive hour on the Steve Gruber Show. Glad to have you here as I light the fuse and fight for you from the foxhole of freedom. All right, three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, Rashida Tlaib is backing the primary challenger of Sri Tanadar. Sri, not for me. Number two, opening statements begin in the Edenville Dam disaster case against the state of Michigan. We'll tell you about that coming up. And number three, something completely different here today because it's something that warrants discussion, but so far has been ignored in large part by the national news media, and I have to ask myself, why is that? The only coverage of this story for the most part recently has been Democrats complaining that Donald Trump has given a free pass to people coming here, white folks coming here from South Africa, because they're being killed at home. The Communist Party of South Africa has made it clear they want to target the Boers, B-O-E-R. The Boers are the Dutch descendants, the Afrikaners. The Dutch descendants that, their families at one point, held sway over the country with apartheid. But now they're farmers and so forth, and white farmers are being killed and their property being taken and redistributed to the black folks in South Africa. But they're being murdered, so they're seeking asylum in the United States, and as a result, those on the left are going crazy. Well, it's only because they're left. On CNN elsewhere, they hate the people being targeted for death by the Communist Party of South Africa, saying we shouldn't let them in at all. Shouldn't let them in at all. They're being murdered. It is an actual genocide in South Africa. Listen to this.
Refugees. So what's the difference between the refugees that they're talking about here and those refugees?
I could guess. I mean, I think everyone...
They're white.
They're white. Thank you. They are white. And I think, look, if that is how you feel, fine, then hold the line. But there are people all over the world, even people in this country right now, who are who have sought asylum, who are going through the process of asylum seeking, and have been detained by ICE and are being deported. There's also a genocide happening in the Congo right now that I don't see any Congolese being getting relief to come to this country. So there are Afghanis that helped us in Afghanistan that we have left behind. Even the last administration didn't do right by them. This administration can do right by them, but they are not, because it doesn't fit the narrative of the type of immigrants that we want in our country.
And even saying there is also a genocide.
Is that what it is? There's a genocide happening in South Africa. She admitted that right there. And then the other guy that starts to talk tries to deny that there's a genocide in South Africa. Here's how it is. Kill the Boer. Kill the farmer. That's what's chanted in the streets at every one of these communist South African get-togethers. Listen.
Alliance shoot to kill Gamaza, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa, brr, pa, pa. Attention.
Kill the Boer. Kill the farmer. Brr, pa. Brr, pa. That means kill the white people. Reports, it depends on what source you use, as to how many white farmers are murdered in the country every year. Hundreds. 200, 400, 800. Nobody's really sure. Hundreds murdered. And the land taken back and given to others. 63 million people in South Africa. 4.5 million are white. That's about 7.5% of the population being targeted for extermination. 4 million people being targeted for extermination in South Africa. But for those on this side of the Atlantic, for those on this side of the world, they say it's absurd, it's not happening. But Trump's taking in South Africans on a refugee plan, and it has, well, folks like that in a complete uproar, right? Here is President Trump weighing in on the genocide. Here's what he said about it. Listen.
Afrikaners who claim discrimination in their home country are heading to the United States, where your administration is going to welcome them as refugees. Now, this comes as you've halted virtually all refugee admissions for people fleeing famine and war from countries like Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why are you creating an expedited path into the country for Afrikaners but not others?
Because they're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. Now, South Africa leadership is coming to see me, I understand, sometime next week. And, we're supposed to have I guess, a G20 meeting there or something. But we're having a G20 meeting. I don't know how we can go unless that situation's taken care of. But it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about. But it's a terrible thing that's taking place. And farmers are being killed. They happen to be white. But whether they're white or black makes no difference to me. But white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa. And the newspapers and the media, television media, doesn't even talk about it.
No, they don't. Rhodesia was an apartheid nation. It's now Zimbabwe. And similar things happened there. By the way, Rhodesia fed most of southern Africa. Breadbasket, great soil, great farmers. They were murdered. And then Rhodesia had a famine where millions of people starved to death because they had murdered their farmers and nobody knew how to farm, or not enough to get the job done. So these refugees are now coming to America, and those on the left are protesting, naturally, because they're always on the wrong side of history. Always on the wrong side of history. Yeah, it's inexcusable. Let me ask you something. Would you trade 30 minutes for an extra $750,000 in your IRA? Join Terry Sawchuk for a live interactive webinar to learn how Sawchuk Wealth helps people reduce their investment costs by as much as 50% and better manage investment risk as tariffs and trade wars threaten the markets and things are all over the place. Terry Sawchuk will answer all of your questions, discuss simple changes that could put an extra $750,000 in your IRA by the time you retire. One of those webinars is happening tonight. You don't want to miss it. If you want to find out more about how to save money and protect yourself, go to sawchuckwealth.com/Gruber. Register for the webinar. It's today. sawchuckwealth.com/Gruber. Get registered for that webinar tonight, and Terry can walk you through all these different scenarios. All securities through Money Concepts Capital Corporation, member FINRA/SIPC. All right, so there, you've got your disclosure. Coming up next, Brad Paquette, state representative. Acts to protect kids from harmful gender transition surgeries and chemicals coming up after this on The Steve Gruber Show.